Being an oncologist was itself something which I had not dreamed. There will come a time in your life when you are sitting in the OPD, seeing a very serious patient. That time you get a call from the ICU that there is a patient you need to see, and there is another patient who has come to the emergency, and there is a patient waiting in the OPD. This is a very, very common situation you have. What will you do? I would not say I had been a very good mother, but she hadn't been very demanding at all. You will have a lot of responsibilities throughout your life. You can't say no to any responsibility, and you need to do the best in all of them.
Hello everyone, welcome to Healthy Ho. I'm Sarika Mehta, founder and director of Healthy Ho. Healthy Ho एक वीडियो चैनल है जिसमें हम लोगों को हेल्थ से रिलेटेड तरह तरह की इन्फॉर्मेशन प्रोवाइड करते हैं और हमारा ऑब्जेक्टिव है प्रिवेंशन, अर्ली डिटेक्शन एंड ट्रीटमेंट। हमने ये चैनल 6 साल पहले स्टार्ट किया था और हमारी जर्नी में बहुत से डॉक्टरों ने हमारा बहुत साथ दिया। वन ऑफ द डॉक्टर जिन्होंने मुझे पर्सनली इंस्पायर किया और मुझे हमेशा मोटिवेट किया है वो हैं डॉक्टर स्वरूपा मित्रा, डायरेक्टर रेडिएशन ऑन्कोलॉजी एट फोर्टिस हॉस्पिटल गुरुग्राम। Welcome to the show, ma'am.
Thank you, Sarika. I'm so privileged, so honored to be here, especially with you as a friend. And I have been so inspired by you. And this is the show, probably the first one I will have in your new studio. And congratulations to you as well.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So, ma'am, just to begin with, I would like to know that how has been your journey from your MBBS days and how did you choose oncology as a subject?
Yes, so, after MBBS, everybody looks out for, which department does one go in, where to do the post-graduation from, what subject. So that time, I wanted to do in surgery because that was the most sought after branch. But after the entrance examination, the results came and I did not get surgery. So during the counseling, when I was waiting for the counseling outside the hall, one of my very well-regarded senior, Dr. Vijay Raj, he suggested that if you don't get surgery, it doesn't matter. Go for oncology. And those were the days we did not know much about oncology, leave alone radiation oncology. So he said that this would be a branch. If you look into the future, it would be a developing branch, lot of innovations, lot of research, and you'd be probably one of those few, especially women oncologists, in years to come. And that actually suited me, and I liked the idea. And when I entered, I did not look here and there, and I chose oncology. So probably that is how destiny worked, and that is how I am a radiation oncologist today. In fact, I would call it a clinical oncologist.
So, ma'am, in your journey from a MBBS doctor to a radiation oncologist, I'm sure you would have come across a lot of different experiences. And some of the things that would have really touched you. Any such experience that you would like to share?
Yes, in fact, being an oncologist was itself something which I had not dreamed. So, I come from a very, very middle class but academically oriented family. And you won't believe if I tell you that my only aspiration and dream was working I belong to Jamshedpur, in the Tata Main Hospital, and having a scooter by myself. I didn't even think of a car. So that is what I dreamed about, and that was my goal and aspiration that time. But after that, whatever I have become now, coming to Delhi, being an oncologist, that itself is a boon and a blessing for me. I did not aspire, I did not try at all. I just worked hard, that's all. I gave my full 100%. So obviously, so during this journey, there were many, many memorable moments. Like I said, just being an oncologist coming to Delhi is itself a huge thing for me. I also fulfilled the dream of my father, who wanted to become a doctor and could not become for various family reasons. So that was another achievement which I consider for myself. And after that, I think, every step, I think everything has been a very beautiful journey. There are struggles, there are difficulties, but I think without struggles, you do not really realize, how beautiful the goal is. So I've enjoyed every part of it and have no regrets. And every moment has been a memorable moment for me.
सो मैम, बहुत बारी किसी को जब कैंसर डिटेक्ट होता है, एक कैंसर पेशेंट को नहीं पता होता कि उसको किसके पास जाना चाहिए। एक ऑन्कोलॉजिस्ट के पास, जैसे कि मेडिकल ऑन्कोलॉजिस्ट, रेडिएशन ऑन्कोलॉजिस्ट, सर्जन के पास, या फॉर दैट मैटर पेलिएटिव केयर स्पेशलिस्ट के पास। तो मैम, कैसे पता चले कि वो कहाँ जाए, और एक कैंसर ट्रीटमेंट में एक रेडिएशन ऑन्कोलॉजिस्ट का क्या रोल रहता है?
So, as an answer to your first question, if detected with cancer, a person can go anywhere, either radiation oncologist or medical oncologist or a surgical oncologist. क्योंकि just by the diagnosis, nobody can decide which treatment protocol one follows. So maybe a person goes to a surgeon, but after the entire follow up and the workup, he decides that no, surgery is not the mode of the treatment. He needs radiation or medical oncology first. So it doesn't matter at all to which specialist you go to, either a surgical, radiation, or medical. Now, radiation is that part of oncology where we treat cancer or treat the tumor with the help of radiation. Most of the time it is X-rays. Nowadays we have protons and others also, but most of the time it is the X-rays. So this is one branch of oncology where a local treatment is given. Surgery is also a mode of local treatment, and medical oncology, that is a mode of systemic treatment, that is you treat with the help of chemotherapy or immunotherapy or hormone therapy.
So, ma'am, when we talk about radiation oncologist, how is it different from a medical oncologist? Basically, what is the role of a radiation oncologist in a cancer treatment?
Overall, I think the role of every oncologist is the same, that is, treating a cancer patient.
So, ma'am, in your journey of being an oncologist, is there any particular memory? Of course, I'm sure there would have been many patients you would have seen till now, many patients would have come in your life till now, but somebody who touched you as a person, some memory that you would like to share with us.
There are so many. I think each patient has taught me a lesson, not only in the perspective of treating the patient, not only in the perspective of how to approach the patient, but it has made myself evolve. I am today what I was in 1985 or 86. I am a completely different person. You start, so being an oncologist, I have a few articles also where I have written that, how I evolved as an oncologist. So for me, it has been an evolving journey. So, yes, of course, I had the opportunity to work in some very good hospitals. I have been under some very good mentors from whom I have learned a lot. I have got the opportunities to many good research projects with ICMR. I have got the opportunity to go as a faculty in international conferences, present my papers. But at the same time, I have come back to the patients. And that is where the reality actually is with you. It stares at you that this is actually whatever I have achieved, it is for the patient. So, and oncology is a branch which is, it is different from other branches like cardiology, respiration medicine, or medicine, gynecology. It is very different because it is a long journey. The patient who is suffering from cancer, the disease may come back. The disease may not come back because she's doing a follow-up. It is a good kind of a cancer. But even when the patient is in the recovery phase, that is when she is a survivor, she has a lot of other problems, many other issues, which is a part of survivorship. So you have been a part of that journey. So you, many times you handhold the patient. So right from the beginning, when you bring out the diagnosis to the patient, that is breaking the news to the patient, to the hand holding during the journey, and being a part of the journey is and experience, and every patient has taught me a lesson. And I think I have improved with each patient. I have improved my way of the practice, and it has taught me quite a lot. So, if I talk about some particular patients, then I think one patient was there. We always, whenever a patient comes for the treatment, we always counsel the patient that this is what you are expecting from the treatment. This is how your cancer is. So, but during that time, there's one particular patient, very young patient. So I explained to her everything, and she just quietly she sat and listened everything. Then at the end, I always ask, "Do you have any questions or not?" And you'll be surprised. I was surprised in my so many years of practice. I did not see such a patient. I did not expect such a question. So she asked me. She didn't ask me anything. She said that, "Ma'am, can I wear my lipstick?" And that actually taught me a lesson that we do not think of the patient as a person. So we have to think of the patient as a person. She's not a patient, she's a person. She might have a family behind her. There may be somebody who is waiting for her at home. There is somebody who looks up to her and wants her to look good. She might have her own dreams. She knows she might be thinking of after the treatment is over, this is what my plans are. So I thought, that I need to remember them. So these small incidents, they teach you many lessons.
So, ma'am, it will be interesting to know how is the day of a oncologist, because it feels very easy to say कि आज हम डॉक्टर के पास गए, उसने हमारे से ठीक से बात नहीं करी, उसने हमें ठीक से ट्रीट नहीं करा. सो बेसिकली पूरा दिन पेशेंट्स और उनकी फैमिलीज़ के इमोशंस के साथ डील करके इवनिंग में जब आप अपने घर जाते हैं तो आई एम श्योर घर पे घर के चैलेंजेस हैं, बाकी सब फैमिली नीड्स योर टाइम. सो हाउ डू यू मैनेज ऑल दिस? सो इफ़ यू कुड जस्ट टेल अस.
I think everybody asks this to me, that it is probably a very negative kind of an ambience you're going through. But it is not so at all. When I think that I am the only savior, the patient, it is me who will be giving the hope to the patient. It is me. It is my responsibility to see that she is happy. It is my responsibility to see that she walks through this entire journey with hopefulness. Then I feel good because she doesn't have anybody else to go to. A patient, an oncology patient, she is a patient, she becomes a companion later on, she becomes a friend. So I don't think there is any kind of an emotional burden at all. And in fact, every time a patient comes back and says that my PET scan is normal, it gives an enormous, I cannot really tell you, how much happiness it gives me, or any doctor per se. So that little smile, that happiness, that moments of happiness, it gives a lot of strength, and it really makes you feel that life is worth living. Like you talked about palliative. So yes, there are the cancer treatment is curative and sometimes it is palliative. Palliative means it is at that stage where cure cannot be offered, but at least we can give her a good, painless, and a good quality of life, stretch her life. So, even being a part of that treatment is something I take with a lot of positivity. So, I think everybody starts with the same kind of a day. Everybody has got 24 hours in a day, and you'll have to manage your time. And it all depends how well you manage the time. So, something which I had learned in school, which my principal had once told me, that the only thing to be successful, you need to prioritize your time. Everybody gets 24 hours in a day, and it is how well you prioritize your time. And this, I just want to say a little story over here. When I was in 12th standard, so my exams, the 12th board was about 2-3 months. And that was the time there were some visitors in our school and my principal. So he wanted me, I am a dancer also, so he wanted me to perform a dance over there. My father, mother, everybody were very worried. This that it's just the examination, 12th exam. How come the school asks you to dance? Aren't there any more dancers in your school? So my father and I, we went to meet the principal. So my father told his concern that she's studying for her 12th. So let somebody else, her sister can do it. Somebody else can do the dance. So my principal, he's my idol. So he told me, what do you want to become later on? I said, I want to become a doctor. So he said, there will come a time in your life when you are sitting in the OPD, seeing a very serious patient. That time you get a call from the ICU that there is a patient you need to see, and there is another patient who has come to the emergency, and there's a patient waiting in the OPD. This is a very, very common situation you have. What will you do? So I said that I didn't have any word. He said that you'll have to prioritize. You'll have a lot of responsibilities throughout your life. You can't say no to any responsibility, and you need to do the best in all of them. So this is what you have to do now. And that gave me a lesson for my life. And I really did that dance very well, got a lot of accolades, and I passed the +2 with very good marks. And I completed the medical also in the first chance itself. So it is all about how you manage your time and how you take these hurdles or challenges they come into your life. So I don't think, and I have been very lucky that I had a very supportive family. My daughter, she was never very demanding. I would not say I had been a very good mother, but she hadn't been very demanding at all. I didn't really give her much time, the quality time which people say that a mother should give. I did not. But even then, I felt very nice when she was in the 6th standard. The teacher had asked her in school that who is your idol? None of us, we never taught her anything. She said, my mother is my idol. And I felt so happy that in spite of doing nothing for her, maybe something I have done. And this she did not come and tell me. Her class teacher rang up and she said, this is how your daughter has said. So it is for all women, you should not feel guilty that you are not the ideal mother. You should not feel guilty that you are not the ideal wife. So maybe you are doing some work which somebody else can do at home. So I think that is all I have to say. Just love your work. I have loved my work, and it has been a priority at any stage of life. I remember there was a time when my daughter, she was in the ICU. She is asthmatic. She was in the ICU, and I got her admitted, and then I came back to the hospital because there was no one else. My boss, she was on leave. She called me up that what happened. She heard. I said that, ma'am, my daughter is there. I said, there's somebody else who is looking after her. I don't need to do over there. And she said she didn't have anything to say. And when she came back, she was weeping. So I think that these small things, they make your life so beautiful. And I think anything, your priority and whatever your heart says, that is what I have always followed.
So, something I would like to tell everyone that ma'am does a very good balance between her professional and her personal life. And she's an inspiration because every time I feel low, I go through her social profile and I will see something that will inspire me. And she's a dancer. She's somebody who loves traveling. She goes for a car rally.
We went one together.
Yes, ma'am. We went for a car rally together. And so she's a very fine balance about how she does her time management so well. She's somebody one should really see how to manage time so beautifully. Even after being such a busy doctor, she's a mother, but she's able to still take out time for herself and go to a gym every day. She is such an inspiration for all of us. And anything else, ma'am, you would like to say?
Thank you so much, Sarika. And it's not only that I inspire you, you inspire me so many times. I see you, taking up such a job and being a businesswoman all by yourself is an inspiration. And there are many more people you inspire. So I think, all of us, we inspire each other. And we should not be shy of being somebody's inspiration.
So we'll be coming with another episode and we'll talk more about the intricacies of radiation oncology in our other episodes with Dr. Sarupa Mitra in the following episodes. Please follow us and to know more about radiation oncology. Thank you so much.